Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So Hare Krishna, thank you all for joining us for today evening mantra jam session. Let me just see who all are there here. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Okay, I get to hear myself again. Huh? No, this is fine. This is all going fine, right? Yeah. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for joining. If you can hear me well, can you please raise your hands? Raise both your hands and loudly say, Hari Bol! I can't hear you. You have to be loud enough. Say loudly. I know you're on mute, but still I want you to be loud, okay? Loudly. Hari Bol! Okay. All right. So I get to see from your enthusiasm. Fine. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Okay. So can I proceed now? Take this. रिकॉर्डिंग भी करना तुम प्रोग्राम चलाओ environment sounds. Hare Krishna. Is it working fine now? Okay, thank you. Our devotees are really working hard to give you the best experience. So thanks to the whole team working hard, very hard here. So let's begin with our program. Let's offer prayers together. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatay Dishatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda. Everyone together. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. We'll have to, for a brief second, interrupt the presentation. Can we just pause it quickly? Yes. Can we just Hare Krishna? So we'll be just starting in a quick 1 second. Just a little minor change here. to go in the presentation mode.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Okay, sorry for the delay. Just I had to make little changes in the system. So Hare Krishna, let's begin with it without any further delay. It's been too late. So as you all remember, last time, as the program is Mantra Jam, and one of the objective of this Mantra Jam is to recite verses and learn verses. So last time when we began our program, these prayers that we just chanted, these are our standard prayers that we chant. Om Agyana Timirandasya, and offering respect and also prayer to our spiritual master, to our gurus who have given us knowledge. And then we offer prayer to Panchatattva, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and of course to Srila Prabhupada Pranami or Pranam Mantra. So here, last time we had introduced you some specific prayers that we sing or recite when we begin Srimad Bhagavatam discussion. So any one of you, Hare Krishna, all right. So does any one of you remembers those prayers? So any one of you could learn it, would like to speak, would like to recite? So our host would give you the access. Abhishek. Hare Krishna. Okay. Hare Krishna. Riyash Prabhu, go ahead.
Prabhuji, your internet issue.
How do we hear?
No, it is.
Okay, so our host Vishwakaran Prabhu will interact with you, but because in this system I cannot interact with you all. So Vishwakaran
Prabhuji,
Prabhu.
can I tell?
Just a moment, Riyansh. Just a
moment.
Just a moment, Riyansh. Spotlight.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All right, can we just take the input? Who would like to recite here?
Prabhuji, can I tell?
Yes, Riyansh, yes.
Narayana namaskrityam naran chaivam narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jaya udiraya natsukaya shabhadreshu nityam bhagavate sevaya bhagavate uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiti.
No. Not that one. So you're saying the two first verses correct. What was the third verse that we have discussed last time? Anyone else?
Hari Vrashpriya, please unmute yourself.
Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gacchara Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Okay, Hare Krishna, Vrishpriya. I don't know if I missed it probably. Was this the verse that you recited? So this was the third verse. Okay, this system is too complicated. Too many things in the system. All right, Hare Krishna. Simple is best. So third verse. I'm sorry, I missed. I couldn't hear you. So Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. So this is the third verse we generally recite before starting Srimad Bhagavatam. So I'll be a little quick now because we have spent too much time in setting up our system today. So as we discussed last time, whenever we begin our Srimad Bhagavatam shloka recitation, there would be a storyline, and related to that storyline, there will be verses. Prior to that, we'll be discussing about the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. So last time we had quoted a verse which described 5 glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. I know that was a little big verse, but in case if any one of you had attempted to learn it, and if anyone would like to recite here, do we have anyone here?
Anyone would like to recite? Okay, we have Jagannath Prabhuji.
Jagannath Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I don't know the verse, but I know one point of it. That Srimad Bhagavatam is very dear to Vaishnavas.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, that's a one feature.
Prabhuji.
Anyone else? I'm
Prabhuji,
asking specifically for the verse. I know you can say if you know or not. If there is no raise of hands, then we can go ahead and we can recite it together once more.
Guruji, we have woman. Woman, you can unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu, go ahead.
श्रीमद्भागवतं पुराणममलं यद्वैष्णवानां प्रियं यस्मिन् परमहंसमेकममलं ज्ञानं परं गीयते तत्र ज्ञानविरागभक्तिसहितं नैष्कर्म्यम् आविष्कृतम् तच्चवन सुपठन विचारण परो भक्त्या विमुच्ये नर.
Fantastic, wonderful. A big round of applause. That was a big verse that you learned, Bhuvan Prabhu. Haribo, wonderful. Oh, Gauranga. I mean, of course, I'm not going to ask you if it's good if you know the translation of it, but if you know the gist, what was the key message of this verse?
Hare Krishna. Anyone would like to answer?
Bhuvan was doing that now. Who recited?
Prabhu, these are the glories of Bhagavatam.
Okay, all right. So I'll proceed with this. So this verse talks about the 5 features of Srimad Bhagavatam. First is a spotless Purana Amalam. Second, Vaishnavanam Priyam is very dear to Vaishnavas. Third, Ekam Amalam Jnanam Paramagiyate. This scripture does pure Krishna Katha. It describes pure Krishna Katha. And the fourth, Tatra Jnana Viraga Bhakti Sahitam. It reveals knowledge to become free, Nashkarmyam Avishkritam, to become free from karma. And the fifth, Tashavanan Supatan Vicharna Parabhaktya Vimuchen Narha. The scripture, if anyone studies the scripture every day, it awards a love of Godhead. So, as I had said last time, this series of discussion would be most helpful for those who are, probably 11 plus. We are trying to see how we can best suit to your need. So, nonetheless, I don't know who all are there today for the program or for the session. Maybe some young kids are also there. So we'll see how we proceed ahead with it. Let's see how we can make it more simpler here. So that was a verse that we discussed last time. We'll begin with the first verse for today, which describes the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. So once upon a time, there was a huge assembly of sages at a place called as Naimisharanya. And in that assembly, the representative of those sages were Shaunaka Rishi. And Shaunaka Rishi asked to the speaker, whose name was Suta Goswami. Now, we'll be discussing about Suta Goswami, Shaunaka Rishi in future sessions. So just to keep it up to this point, and there Shaunaka Rishi, on behalf of all assembly, asked to our Suta Goswami that when Krishna disappeared, then religion, whom did religion or dharma took shelter of after Lord Shri Krishna left this world and went back to Godhead? In that context, Suta Goswami makes this very beautiful verse. So this is the first verse that we are introducing for today's discussion. And after this, we'll get into the storyline for today. So we'll repeat this verse thrice so that, that's the way we learn shlokas. So what is this verse talks about? Let me just give you the meaning of it. Krishna Swadhama Upagate. Suta Goswami says, Lord Shri Krishna Swadhama. Swadhama means, Lord Shri Krishna Swadhama. Lord Shri Krishna went back to his abode. Upagate, he returned to his abode. Dharma Jnanadibhi Saha, and along with that, religion and knowledge and jnana also went along with Lord Shri Krishna. Kalau Nashta Darshamesha. Kalau means the people of this Kali Yuga, they're already blinded by ignorance. So how can they be delivered? How can they be given knowledge of dharma? The Suta Goswami says, Purna arko udhonditaha. Purna arko adhunditaha. Purna arko refers to this Purana, not Purna, sorry, Purana arko. Purana arko refers to this Purana rose like a sun, just like a sunrise happened in the morning. Similarly, this Purana acted like a sunrise. Purana arako udhomditaha. And that Purana, this rising as a sun, dispelled all the ignorance. Just like in the morning when you have sunrise, all the darkness has disappeared. Similarly, with the Srimad Bhagavatam, with the manifestation of Srimad Bhagavatam, the whole ignorance, the nescience was destroyed. In fact, Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport that Srimad Bhagavatam, in this sense, is non-different than Lord Shri Krishna. So this is the meaning of this verse. So let's recite this verse. Krishna swadham upagate. So maybe one line by line, I guess that'll be best. Krishna swadham upagate. Dharma jnanadibhi saha. Kalau nasht darshamesha. Purana arko udhunditaha. Actually, the best would be for me to hear the recite also, actually, All right. Otherwise, there's no personal interaction. Fine. Once more, I hope you are able to recite behind. Krishna swadham upagate. Dharma jnanadibhi saha. Kalau nasht drshamesha. Puranarko udhonditaha. And third, for the last time, we'll recite it together. Can we have some kids unmuted? So that way, but if they're unmuted, how would we hear? If I'm speaking. Okay, so we're gonna do one thing. All the kids would have the right to unmute yourself. I will repeat this mantra once together, and all of you, after I finish, can repeat after. All right? Krishna swadham upagate dharma jnanadibhi saha. Kalau nashdrashamesha. Puranarko udhonditaha.
Pagate dharma jnanadibhi saha. Tannadrasham esha. Puranako udhonditaha.
We can't, Prabhuji, we can't hear.
Prabhuji, you are muted. Prabhuji, you are muted.
Prabhuji, you are muted.
Prabhuji, you are muted.
Calm, be calm.
We cannot see you.
Prabhuji, can't hear you. Mama, अपनी भी volume move कर.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. All right. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. So this is a shloka. This is a homework shloka for all of you to learn. So without spending more time on this, let's begin with our discussion episode today, episode 2, wherein we are going to discuss about why and how Srimad Bhagavatam got manifested. So as we know, Srila Vyasadeva had compiled all the scriptures right at the beginning of Kali Yuga. Prior to the compilation by Srila Vyasadeva, there was one scripture. However, looking at the situation of the Kali Yuga, where people would be less intelligent, they would have less time, they'll be unfortunate, and so forth are the features described for Kali Yuga residents, which means all of us. So Srila Vyasadeva divided the scriptures into 4 parts. And what are the 4 scriptures or the 4 parts? Rig, Sama, Yajur, and Atharva Ved. After compiling scriptures into these 4 parts, then Srila Vyasadeva wrote Puranas and Itihas like Skanda Puran, Padma Puran, Matsya Puran, and Ityadi, and etc. After doing this huge task, after this, Srila Vyasadeva wrote Mahabharat. And Mahabharat, which contains Bhagavad Gita, the 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. And Mahabharat, as we all know, how long is Mahabharat? We have the chat box enabled, then you can type in the chat box, because I guess that's the only way I can interact with all of you. So how many shlokas are there in Mahabharat? So there are 1 lakh shlokas, 100,000 shlokas at least in Mahabharat. Huge work. And who helped Vyasadeva write Mahabharat? And that was Ganeshi, correct. And after writing this huge literature, then Srila Vyasadeva wrote approximately 555 shlokas, which is called as Vedanta Sutra, which gives the essence and the gist, a summary form, the concise form of all the knowledge that Srila Vyasadeva had described in the 4 Vedas. Even after doing such a huge endeavor, Vyasadeva was not happy. So thus, Srila Vyasadeva one day was sitting in his ashram that was at the bank of Saraswati. And he was wondering, my dear Lord, what wrong have I done? I have described everything. I have learned properly from my Guru. I have always followed the vows of my ashrama or of my spiritual life. I have always practiced dharma, and according to my best capacity, I have tried to render service to the humanity by giving scriptures in such a format, in such a way people of Kali Yuga can understand it. Yet, my dear Lord, Narada Vyasadeva is thinking, why I'm still not happy? What is the reason for it? At this point of time, when Vyasadeva was thinking, why I'm not feeling that contentment, why I'm not feeling that satisfaction, at that point of time, spiritual master of Vyasadeva arrived. Who is the spiritual master of Vyasadeva? Again, you may use chat box for today's session. Next time on, we'll try to make it more interactive. Who is the spiritual master of Vyasadeva? Yes, thank you. Narad Muni is a spiritual master of Vyasadeva, and Narad Muni arrived. And then on the instruction of Narada Muni, Srila Vyasadeva wrote Srimad Bhagavatam, which is also described as a commentary on Vedanta Sutra. Vedanta Sutra, the 555 shlokas, approximately, if I'm correct, that's the number, which Srila Vyasadeva had written, giving the summary of all the 4 Vedas. And then Srila Vyasadeva gave the purport or the commentary on those Vedanta Sutra by describing those 555 shlokas into 18,000 shlokas. So the purport was 18,000 shlokas long, and that forms what is called as Srimad Bhagavatam. So let's look a little bit into detail what happened between Narad Muni and Srila Vyasadeva. Hare Krishna. Just a second. So Narad Muni arrives at the place where Vyasadeva was sitting. Vyasadeva gets up from his seat, he greets Narad Muni, and Narad Muni, with a slight smile on his face, he began to speak to Vyasadeva. And he said, hey Vyasa, why do you look so disturbed? You're the most intelligent person in this world. Your all inquiries had been answered. You're the most pious. In fact, you're the literary incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You have written such a huge literatures. You have done such a great work. Nobody in the past in the history of mankind have ever done it. Yet, Srila Vyasadeva, you don't seem to be happy. What's wrong? And then Srila Vyasadeva, with folded hands, he said, my dear spiritual master, Narad Muni, you know past, present, and future. You are not different than Paramatma, who resides in the heart of every living entity. You know everything. You know about my situation also. So my dear Narad Muni, I humbly request you, please guide me. Please show me the way, because of show me the right path, so that I can find that contentment and happiness in my life. So there, Narad Muni, being requested by Srila Vyasadeva to instruct him, to tell him how he can be really happy, truly happy, then Narad Muni began to speak. And Narad Muni found out two defects in the writing of Srila Vyasadeva. Now, until this point of time, Srila Vyasadeva have written 4 Vedas, Mahabharata, Purana, Itihasas, and we can say Vedanta Sutras also. So Narad Muni said, hey, Vyasadeva, you have written a vast literatures, but you have not glorified Lord Shri Krishna sufficiently. Because in the Vedas, Riga, Sama, Yajur, Atharva, and Puranas, you have also described the worship of so many devatas. You have also described worship of impersonal Brahman and many, many other things. Because you have given so many options, you have given so many varieties, people will get confused. So then Vyasadeva said, my dear Gurudev, well, I have described the glories of Lord Shri Krishna or Narayan in Puranas, in Padma Purana, Skanda Purana, and many other Puranas. I have spoken at length about the glories of the Lord. And that Narad Muni said, yes, you have described, but you have not described sufficiently. Along with partial discussion on the glories of the Lord, you have given too many options. You have given too much emphasis on dharma, artha, kama, moksha. In essence, which means you have taught the mankind how you practice religion to fulfill your desires. Which desires? Material desires. And because people are more attracted to their material desires, therefore people will not look towards the subject matter of bhakti, and therefore you have deprived the human race of their ultimate goal. And then Narad Muni began to speak to Vyasadeva, and he said, hey, Vyasadeva, you are the most qualified person on the planet Earth today. You are literally incarnation. You are incarnation of the Supreme Lord. You have learned the subject matter properly, and you can truly explain the subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam, or explain the subject matter of Lord Shri Krishna and his Leelas the best way. And therefore Narad Muni said, hey Vyas, therefore I request you, you should write Srimad Bhagavatam. And at that point of time, Narad Muni told Vyasadeva, hey Vyasadeva, there are 2 kinds of scriptures, or grantha, or books, or the text. And it's very important shlokas. So we'll not go too many shlokas, but we'll refer to this. And here, Narad Muni describes about the features of mundane literature. What is the definition of mundane literature? Which is also described in this verse, which means the literatures which do not discuss the glories of the Lord. So let's take a look at this verse, and then again we'll try to repeat 3 times, and then we'll try to hear from you. I'll give you the meaning of it. Na yad vachas chitra padam harer yasho, which means those vachas means vocabulary, or those writings. Chitra padam harer yasho. Harer means Hari. Chitra padam means the glories of the Lord. Jagat pavitram, the glories of the Lord, which can purify the whole universe. Praganita karhichit. Praganita karichit means, Praganita means described, karichit means hardly described. So Nayad vachas chitra, which means, hey Vyasadeva, those scriptures which hardly describe the glories of the Lord. The glories of the Lord which can purify, Jagat Pavitram, which can purify the whole creation. So these literatures are called as mundane literature, which do not describe the glories of the Lord. And who are attracted to these literatures? Narad Muni says in the 3rd line, Tadvayasam titham ushanti manasa. Such literatures, or the books, are the place of pilgrimage of crows. Why crows? Why Narad Muni said crows, not sparrows, not peacocks and anything? Right? Good question, isn't it? Any thoughts, kids? Or the adults? I don't know who all are there right now. Why crows? He could have said chicken, could have said peacock, hen, sparrow, so many owl and whatnot. So there is a particular feature of crows. You see crows are always, crows always assembled near to the dustbin, right? Wherever there's a filthy place or a filth, you'll find crows there. And that is how Narad Muni described these literatures which do not discusses the glories of the Lord as a trash. So tadvayasam titamushanti manasa. And then Narad Muni says, na yatra hamsa. Hamsa refers to swan, which means the devotees who are like swan-like, they do not derive any pleasure from such literature which do not discuss the glories of the Lord. So that's the meaning. Let's do the recitation now. Nayad vachaschitra padam hare yasho jagat pavitram praganita karhichit tadvaya samtita mushanti manasa nayatra hamsa niramanti sikshaya. So let us try to recite together. And once I do the third time recitation, then all of you can repeat together. I'll request the host to unmute you all at the third time. The second time, maybe I'll do line by line. Nayad vachaschitra padam hare yasho jagat pavitram praganita karhechet tadvaya samtita mushanti manasa nayatra hamsa niramanti sikshaya. So I hope by now you might have got the meter or the how to pronounce, how to recite it. So can we all go together? Can we all do it? Sing, no, we can't sing it together. I can't sing it. So let me just recite it for the third and last time. And then after that, you'll have the opportunity to recite. And I'll request our devotees to unmute, our host to unmute you all. Nayat vachaschitra padam hare rasho tad jagat pavitram praganita karhichit tadvaya samti tamushanti manasa nayatra hamsa niramanti sikshaya. All of you. Hare Krishna. All right. That was the most melodious meeting. Hare Krishna. That was the most melodious, most harmonizing recitation. I don't know, we have to find a better way of reciting together. But nonetheless, this is the description given here. So this is a mundane literature. At least all of you learned something about what is called as mundane literature. So what is a transcendental literature? Nadmani describes in the next verse. And Nadmani says, Tadavag visargo janataga viplavo yasmin pratish lokam abadhavati api namani nantasya yashonkitani yat Shanavanti gayanti grananti sadhava. Tadavag visargo janataga viplavo. That vocabulary or that description or that writing, janataga viplavo, aga means sin, janatag, the sins or the impious lives, viplavo, that writing or description that can cause a revolution in the lives of living entities. Yasmin prati shlokam adhavati api. Even if such a literature or description is not properly composed, abhidhavati api. Abhidhavati means improperly. There could be grammatical mistake or there could be a mistake in a meter, so the recitation could not be proper. Even if that text is not composed perfectly, may have some deficiency, literary deficiency. However, if that text describes what? Namani anantasya yasho ankitani. If that scripture or that writing describes the glories of the Lord, the names, the pastimes, and the forms, what should we do? Narad Muni says, Shanvanti Gayam Grananti Sadhava. Sadhava means the sages, the devotees of the Lord. What should the devotee do? They should hear it, they should sing it, and they should describe it. I hope the meaning is clear. So let's do it. Tadavag visargo janataga viplavo yasmin pratishlokam abadhavati api namanyanantasya shomkitani yat shanvanti gayanti grananti sadhava. So we'll not be unmuting this time because that's not the best way. We'll do it next time, some other way. So please recite along with me. So at your respective places, you can recite ahead. Tadvag visargo janataga viplavo yasmin pratishlokam abadhavati api namaninantasya shunkitani yat Shanvanti Gayanti Gananti Sadhava. And then Narad Muni began to speak to Srila Vyasadeva. And Narad Muni then said to Vyasadeva, Hey Vyasa, such is the glory of scriptures or writings that describes the glories of the Lord. By that, the whole environment becomes pure, the impious lives becomes pious, or all the sins get destroyed. Therefore, Srila Vyasadeva, you should describe the glories of the Lord. You should write a scripture that exclusively and vividly gives the descriptions of Lord Shri Krishna's glories. So like that, Srila Narada Muni urged Vyasadeva to compose, to create a literature, to write a literature which can give the glories of Bhakti, Bhagavan, and Bhaktas. At that point of time, Narad Muni said to Vyasadeva, actually Vyasadeva thought, and he thought, he didn't say to Narad Muni, but he thought, my dear Lord, I wrote the scriptures in which, like, Mahabharata and the Vedas and Itihas and Puranas, and I give overemphasis to material happiness. By prescribing dharma, by following of dharma, you can fulfill your material happiness. I did that so that people can become attracted to Vedic knowledge, Vedic scriptures, and they follow scriptures, and gradually they will make advancement. And then Narad Muni said, no, this was not correct. This will further degrade their consciousness. Rather, you should write directly about bhakti. And then Narad Muni says a very beautiful statement. Narad Muni says, hey Vyasa, there is no loss on the path of bhakti. Even if somebody takes to the path of bhakti and after a short while, if he gets disconnected or if he falls down from the practice of bhakti, there is no loss of that person. And this will mark the last verse of today's discussion. I'll keep it a little short for today until our experiment goes on. Tyaktva sadharmam charanambhujam hare bhajan apakvotha pate tato yadi yatra kava bhadram abhud amushyakim kovatha apto abhajatam sadharmataha. So here Narad Muni says to Vyasa, Tyaktva sudharmam, not dharmam, Tyaktva sudharmam charanam bhujam hare. Those who have given up everything to take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. Bhajan apakvo. So as we know, pakwa, we say in the summer season, aam pak gaye hain kya? So apak matlab kache, not ripened. So Narad Muni says, bhajan apakvo. In other words, even if devotional life is not fully ripened, fully matured, patet tato yadi, it is possible the devotee may get distracted or may fall down from the process of bhakti. Yatra kava bhadram abhud amushyakim. Abhadra means what inauspiciousness. Narad Muni is raising a question. What inauspiciousness can happen in the life of this devotee who practiced bhakti for a short while, got distracted? And in the last line, Narad Muni says, Kovartha apto abhajatam swadharmata. Swadharmata, the person who has followed his varna and ashram, the rules and regulation of varnashrama, who has performed his professional occupational duty very nicely, but he never performed in bhajan or never rendered devotional service to the Lord, then what would he gain? What does Narad mean by this? Because when a person dies and he takes the next birth, how many of you had to go to nursery class when you took birth in this lifetime? Yes or no? You went to nursery, KG, then first, second, third, fourth, whichever standard you are, isn't it? Isn't that you directly started from your school life or the college life? So Nadmuni says, even such a person have done his professional duty very nicely, but has not rendered service to the Lord. In next life, he has to start everything from zero. Whereas in the bhakti, even if the person has got distracted, in the next life, when he resumes, when he takes the next birth, he resumes where he left it. It's just like you're playing a video game and your mother calls you for a dinner or a lunch. What do? There is a pause button in the video game. You press a pause, you go have your lunch and come back. That is what Narad Muni is saying. There is no loss. So we'll recite it once more together. Tyaktva sadharmam charanambujam hare bhajan apakvotha pate tatho yadi yatra kava bhadram abhud amushyakim kovartha apto abhajatam swadharmataha. And like this, Narad Muni urged Vyasadeva that you should describe the glories of the Lord. And then to further convince Srila Vyasadeva, Narad Muni described his past life. And then Narad Muni said to Vyasadeva, hey Vyasadeva, in my previous life, I was born as a son of a Shudrani. And in my life, I had not known anyone apart from my mother. But one day I was very fortunate that Bhakti Vedantas, the pure devotees of the Lord, came to the ashram of a Brahmana where my mother and I were living. And they came and they stayed for 4 months together there. And my mother had an opportunity to cook for them. So my mother will cook and I will carry the food and serve the Bhakti Vedantas. Like this, being pleased by my service attitude. Now, Narada, the boy of previous life, was 5-year-old. I guess all of you are elder than 5 years here. He was just 5-year-old and he was following the instruction of his mother. And like that, he served the Bhakti Vedantas. And Narada Muni says, because I served the Bhakti Vedantas, being pleased with me out of their compassion, they blessed me with Krishna Bhakti. And because when I received their blessing, I developed all the good qualities. And Narada Muni says, as a boy, I gave up all frivolous behavior. I stopped talking nonsense. I stopped wasting my time playing video games. Playbox? What is that box? Xbox. Of course, Narada Muni didn't say that. I'm just saying in the current context. There were no Xbox. There were no video games. Of course, there was no cricket match. Probably no Gilly Danda also. So Narada said, I stopped playing. I stopped wasting my time. I stopped talking nonsense. I stopped demanding from my parents for anything else. Rather, I became so attracted to the association of Bhakti Vedantas that I started spending more and more time with them. And in their association, I got to hear Krishna Katha. And because I heard that Krishna Katha, that is why, hey Vyasadeva, today I am standing in front of you in a transcendental spiritual body, being awarded to me by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, being compassionately or being pleased at my sincere endeavors to please Him and serve Him. And now I have got this transcendental body with which I can fly and travel anywhere in the creation, from material world to spiritual world, and from spiritual world to material world. Anytime I can travel without any passport or a visa. He has a permanent visa to travel everywhere. So like this, Narada Muni says to Vyasadeva, it all happened because I heard the glories of Lord Shri Krishna. Therefore, Vyasadeva, just like I received the benediction and the great fortune of hearing Krishna Katha, similarly, I want you to give this blessing and opportunity for everyone to hear Krishna Katha. Therefore, I'm requesting you to write a literature, compose a literature which explicitly describes the glories of the Lord. And this literature, Tadavag Visarga Janataga Viplavo Yasmin Prati Shlokam Apadhavati Api. This scripture, Tadavag Visarga Janataga Viplavo, if you write this scripture which describes exclusively the glories of the Lord and different incarnations of the Lord and different devotees of the Lord, then it will cause a revolution in the consciousness of the mankind, and then everyone would have the privilege, the great fortune that I received in my life in the association of Bhakti Vedantas, that I got to hear Krishna Katha. Similarly, through your writing, people in Kali Yuga will get the opportunity to hear Krishna Katha, and by hearing Krishna Katha, they'll get the blessing, they'll get the bhakti, or they'll get love of Godhead as a result of practicing or hearing Krishna Katha. So Vyasadeva, I urge you to compile a literature so that people of Kali Yuga could be blessed. Like this, Narad Muni requested Vyasadeva, and Vyasadeva understood it. However, Vyasadeva asked a question to Narad Muni, and he asked, my dear Lord, so Narad Muni says that those Bhaktivedantas stayed with us at our ashram for 4 months. And after Chaturmas got over, then Bhaktivedantas left, giving me complete wisdom and knowledge of Krishna Bhakti. So Vyasadeva then asked a question, my dear Narad Muni, what did you do after Bhaktivedantas left away? So how did Narada, the boy in his previous life, lived after his spiritual master left away, or went away, I'm sorry, they went away? How did Narada, the boy, lived his life, and how did he attain the perfection, is what Vyasadeva asked, which is described in the 5th chapter of the 1st canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th and the 6th chapter. That discussion will take tomorrow, and Krishna willing, will have a little more simpler setup, because in this setup, I could not interact much with all of you. And of course, we couldn't had the Kirtan. Our time is also over. So I'll pause here, and I am going to come back to on my screen now. But how do I? But does it look so awkward that I put a headphone and all that? No? So fine, can we just switch off that, and I'll go directly on the screen to interact with the kids. So Hare Krishna. Where am I on my Zoom? I'm appearing on Zoom now. Okay, Haribol. Thank God I'm not flying in the sky. Oh, wait a second. Okay. Give me the mic, Karna, so I can speak. Oh, Ranga.
But you cannot hear.
Why I can hear? Hare Krishna. So, what's going on here? I need to switch on my screen here. I have to switch on my screen, I'm saying. Hare Krishna. All right. So, Prabhu, can you? Okay. So we promise you're going to have a little more simpler setup tomorrow, next time, so we can interact with you all. So how is it going here? Harshita, looks like mother and daughter both have their hands up here. Can I be made a host here?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I'm the host now, so I have the control. I'm the controller for the timing at least. So I was depending on too many devotees here right now to do the program. Yes, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Prabhuji, as you told, Mundane literature consists of divide one Veda into four Veda, fifth Veda, Puran and इतिहास. ये जो मतलब four आपने starting के दिए वो चारों modern literature में आ जाएंगे, ऐसे ही ना?
Not exactly. What it means is that scriptures which do not describe the glories of Lord entirely.
Okay.
So at least Puranas have discussion of a lot of glories of the Lord. But it is not complete. So there is a lot of, like Mahabharata, there is so much discussion about so many subject matters. You know, Brahmaji appears and Shivji appears and Surya Detta appears and Indra Detta appears. There's so many appearances, disappearances happening. So person doesn't know whom to worship, isn't it? You know, Dronacharya worshipped Lord Shiva so that he can have a son. And so many we read in Mahabharata, right? So many people had worshipped Lord Shiva. So there's a lot of confusion that happens. So that's the reason Admani said, write a literature which exclusively describes glories of Krishna. And that is what happened when Vyasadeva wrote finally Srimad Bhagavatam. Then he was fully satisfied. And that's the point. And that's the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. How do I see everyone here? Wait a second. Gallery view. Yes, who do we have here? Our Shriram, go ahead. Shriram, unmute.
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I wanted to ask that what does the word Bhagavatam mean for?
Srimad Bhagavatam, which means which describes the glories of Bhagavan.
Okay, Prabhuji.
All right.
Prabhuji, somewhere I heard that Sukdev Goswami narrated, somewhere I heard Sutta Goswami narrated. So what is
we're going to come to those. Right now we are talking about where Vyasadeva compiles. You know, Narad Muni instruct to Vyasadeva, and now Vyasadeva is going to compile Srimad Bhagavatam. So we're going to read ahead, discuss ahead that how Vyasadeva then taught to Sukdev Goswami. And then Sukdev Goswami taught to Sutta Goswami. He didn't taught to Sutta Goswami, but he taught to Parikshit Maharaj, and Sutta Goswami was present there. So we'll come to those stories. How Sutta Goswami, why Sukdev Goswami spoke to Parikshit Maharaj, and then how Sutta Goswami spoke to the sages in Naimisharanya. That all discussion will happen soon. We'll come to it. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Yes,
I have a doubt. Yes. Prabhuji, I have a doubt that who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead?
Who is?
The Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Srimad Bhagavatam says, Eta chamsa kalha pumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of
God. But some Puranas, Shakti Purana says that it is that Supreme Devi. Then,
yeah, very nice. Very good question, Adi Lakshmi Prabhu.
Many places they are saying like that.
Correct. So there are 18 Puranas. There are 6 Puranas that discuss about Lord Vishnu. There are 6 Puranas that discuss about Lord Shiva. Hare Krishna. Okay. Wait a second. There's a lot of background noise coming here. Okay, yeah. So, and there are 6 Puranas which discusses about Devi. So these 18 Puranas Vyasadeva had written according to 3 modes of material nature. So 6 Puranas he wrote for people who are in Tamoguna. Another 6 Puranas he wrote for the people who are in Rajoguna. And other 6 Puranas he wrote for people who are in Sattvaguna. So those Sattvaguna Puranas are said to be Puranas which discusses about the glories of Lord Vishnu. And like that, there are Puranas which describes the glories of Lord Shiva and Devi, according to the modes of material nature. And that's the reason after writing all this thing, despite after writing all this literature, still Vyasadeva was not happy. That's the reason Narad Muni told him, now you write a literature which describes the glories of Bhagwan. And that is Srimad Bhagavatam, where he discusses about Lord Shri Krishna. Yes, Adi Lakshman.
Prabhuji, can I recite one shloka in that Sahasranam of Vishnu Sahasranam?
Yes, Adi Lakshman, we're going to do a lot of these things because today we ran out of time. We'll have far much more interaction from next time onward. We'll keep a more simpler setup.
Prabhuji, can I say the first verse? It is very short.
Yeah, I'll just come to you because I'm running short of time. I have another program.
Okay, Prabhuji.
I'll just interact with little more kids.
It's okay, Prabhuji. It's okay.
Next time for sure. Next Friday, okay?
Okay, Prabhuji.
Yes. Jagannath, where are you? Oh, Jagannath. Happy
Hare Krishna,
birthday
Prabhuji.
to you. Happy birthday.
Prabhuji, how do you know?
Hare Krishna, dear Jagannath. Hare Krishna to you. May you never take birth again. May you never take birth again. May you never take birth again. Hare Krishna to you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes, Jagannath Prabhu.
Prabhuji, I have a question. Prabhuji, I have a question that.
But
Prabhuji,
I have a question before that. We sang a Hare Krishna birthday song for you. Where is our cake?
Prabhuji, Mataji has made at home. Mataji has made at home.
Okay, all right. Yes, Jagannath Prabhu, go ahead with your question.
Prabhuji, I have a question that was exactly Sutta Goswami was the disciple of Shukdev Goswami, or he was only audience listening Srimad Bhagavatam?
Yeah, so in that way you can call him as a disciple also, like that. Hey, why did I lost the screen here? Okay. Yeah. Jagannath Prabhu, yes, so you can call him because he heard, na? So in that way he is called as Shiksha Guru. Okay, because he took Shiksha. So like that we can have many Shiksha Gurus. So Sukdev Goswami was one of Shiksha Gurus of Sutta Goswami. So he's a Guru.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Who else do we have? We have Sanskriti Bose. Yes, please, go ahead.
Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji.
And what's your name?
Sanskriti.
Oh, Sanskriti, correct. Yes, Sanskriti.
Prabhuji, I have heard that in Srimad Bhagavatam, only one word, Radhika, is used. So why it's so only only one word is used for Radharani?
Oh yeah, I mean, all right. This is kind of an out of syllabus question, but because you have asked the question, we'll try to address it. So it is described by Acharyas, particularly Srila Jiva Goswami discussed about this point, why Srila Sukdev Goswami did not talk actually at all about Srimati Radharani, And the reason is because Sukdev Goswami, because Parikshit Maharaj only had 7 days. And if Sukdev Goswami would have taken the name of Shri Radhika, Sukdev Goswami would have gone in trance or in samadhi. Actually, our acharyas mention that during the 7-day course of discussion, several times Sukdev Goswami went into samadhi and then they would do kirtan. So, to bring Sukdev Goswami out of the trance. For example, in 3rd canto Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a discussion between Vidura and our Uddhava. So when Vidura asked, please tell me about Lord Shri Krishna, immediately Uddhavji went into trance and samadhi. Just remembering Krishna, he was stunned for a good amount of time. So our acharyas mentioned, therefore, Sukdev Goswami intentionally did not speak about Srimati Radharani. That's the one reason. Second reason, because in that assembly, there were all kinds of sages, where Sukdev Goswami was speaking to Parikshit Maharaj. Not that everyone were a bhaktas or the devotees, there were some from the impersonalistic background also. So there, Sukdev Goswami didn't want to touch upon the subject matter of the highest and the purest devotee of the Lord, Srimati Radharani. That's the reason Sukdev Goswami did not discuss that. However, in Chaitanya Leela, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami have described Shri Radhika in details.
And Prabhuji, I would like to have the Taktva Swadharmam Charam.
Charanam Bhujam Hare. Yes.
Just wanted to write the shloka. So can I have it?
Your sound got cut. What is that, Sanskriti?
Prabhuji, the fourth was Taktva Swadharmam Charam.
Yes.
Charanam Bhujam Hare. I want that verse. I want to write it.
Oh, you will get the PPT.
Okay.
It will be shared on the WhatsApp group. You will have that.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Durvank Pradeshi. Hare Krishna. Yes, Durvank Pradeshi. Yes.
Hello. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, you just wished the birthday song for the kid, and like I didn't get the meaning of never take the birth again.
Good question. Good question. I would ask the birthday boy to give the reason. Jagannath, would you like to give an answer to Durvank? Okay, I'll unmute you. Durvank ji, I'll just mute you for a second. Yes, birthday boy, go ahead. Unmute.
Means Prabhuji wishes that I should go to Golokam of Sri Krishna and never take birth in this material again, to be in the chakra of Janma Mrityu.
Thank you, Jagannath. Durvank ji, is your question answered?
Yes, sir. Like, yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you. Anything else?
Nothing.
Okay. Daivik Tripathi. Daivik.
Yes, Prabhuji, I wanted to recite the shlokas.
Yes, next time when we meet, all of us going to recite a lot of shlokas. Today we couldn't do it, but Daivik, let's wait for next week. We'll definitely have all of you recite like we used to do it in Mahabharata sessions, okay? So, because we are running short of time, I'm already over time now. Daivik, wait for next week, okay? We'll recite it that time. Okay, Daivik, great. Rishabh Dev, go ahead. Unmute Rishabh.
Prabhuji, yes, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, so my question is a little continuation of the second last question.
Go ahead.
Prabhuji, as you told that Sukdev Goswami didn't mention about Srimati Radharani. So, Prabhuji, does that mean in Bhagavatam that Srila Vyasdev wrote about Radharani, but Sukdev Goswami didn't told, so we don't have the version of Vyasdev?
Well, this is how acharyas describe. Sukdev Goswami did not mention. And then what Vyasdev have written is what Sutta Goswami, it becomes a Sutta Vacha, Shaunakadi Rishi and Sutta. The discussion happens between them. So it seems Srila Vyasdev had written the conversation that happened between Sutta Goswami and Shaunakadi Rishi. Because Sutta Goswami heard from Sukdev Goswami. And because Sukdev Goswami did not mention about Srimati Radharani, so Sutta Goswami also did not mention anything about Srimati Radharani. Okay?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So, thank you all. It's very late. And we'll change the format of the program next time. It'll be nice still if you can give me some feedback. You can message me or leave a feedback here. Is it making some sense? Is it going fine? Or we need to change a little bit of the pattern? We'll try to fix it. At least we'll try to have a little more interactive next week onward and have a little more simpler format. But thank you all for joining us for today evening Mantra Jam. I guess that's it. So those of you who were supposed to join us for Vrindavan Leela, that was supposed to begin at 8 o'clock. Now we'll not have it because already 8:20. So we have cancelled that Vrindavan Leela program for today. So we'll have it on next Thursday and Friday. So I believe all of you have that information with you. So thank you.
There's a message from Tima Mataji.
Yes.
Akansh wants to ask something.
Yeah, Akansh, go ahead, unmute. So yeah, I don't know if they're there or not. Yes, yes.
Prabhuji, I want to ask प्रभु जी मेरे को आपको सुनाने श्लोका जो हम 3 prayers learn करी थी.
Oh yes.
प्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भगवती सेव्या नित्य उत्तमा भगवते उत्तमा श्लोके भक्ति भवार्ती नष्ट की कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंद गोपाल कुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः.
Nand Gopa, not Gopal.
नंद गोपाल कुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः. नारायण नमस्कृत्य नरोचीवा नरोत्तम देवीं सरस्वती व्यासं तथो जया उदीरत. प्रभु जी, I don't understand the Srimad Bhagavatam 1 shloka.
Yeah, that's a big one. No problem. We will discuss that more later. And the last verse that you quoted, Narayanam Namaskritya, the second line is Naram Chaiva, not Narochiva. Okay? Naram Chaiva Narottamam. So thank you, Akansh. Wonderful. I know you had been learning it all last 1 week and listening to the recordings again and again. Wonderful. Good work. Okay? Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari